Okay, back here in the Indie Style Studios, because this month marks the beginning of gardening season, and this weekend is really the perfect time to get out in the yard for some fresh air and some sunshine. I am so excited to welcome you back.
Thank
Master
you so
Gardener
much.
Carrie Petty. It has been way too long.
Thank you so
and you know
much.
that our viewers adore you.
Oh, well, that is the nicest thing in the history of the universe.
Well,
I adore them.
They learn so much, and you have such a nice, simple way and a very sunshiny type of way of explaining things, which we really appreciate.
Well, I appreciate that. That is so sweet. And you're right, it is the beginning. And March starts it all. March starts it all. We got to get out there, stop the binge watching, you know, get outside this
Carrie
weekend.
Says so, yes.
Get outside, and the first thing I always tell people is get outside and take stock.
Yeah.
Get your cup of coffee tomorrow morning and go around the yard and just take stock. You know, we had that really bad winter snow, and so a lot of our branches are going to be broken.
Yeah.
You know, take a pair of pruners with your coffee and go out and prune the dead off, clean up a little bit. And, you know, Randy and I were just talking about the fact that the spring solstice comes March 20th exactly at 5:37 a.m. in the morning.
Randy, why? It's so specific, right?
It's the coolest thing in the history. It's like, okay, so that, we don't have to worry about anything. Spring knows when to come. Everybody worries that the daffodils are going to come up, and you don't have to worry so much about the daffodils coming up. Mother Nature's got it handled, you know?
She's got this.
This precise timing is great, but it's okay to force a few things, Amber. So this morning we're going to talk about forcing branches, and what I want you all to do is just go out, these are red bud trees, and just snip off that base so that you have a really good opening so that the water can be drawn up, and then find a decorative vase and just put them in some warm water and in some sunshine, and then these little buds right here are gonna begin to start to swell.
Okay.
And you can force your blooms inside.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that fabulous? And if you start today, you'll have enough time probably for Easter dinner that they'll be in bloom, and then your kiddos can go around and decorate the little tree with Easter eggs. And I mean, it's a beautiful weekend to do a little craft like this. But the thing I gotta tell you is, I work for this large tech firm, Coupa Software, and one of my passions is teaching young girls about science and technology. And one of the bases of that is getting outside this weekend and just having some awareness. Observe. Observation is the base of science. And that's my passion, teaching people how to grow a more beautiful life. And gardening is the gateway to getting all of our young kids into all this.
I feel like you just make my heart smile because, of course, especially during COVID as well, I feel like people have tried to find maybe new hobbies and new things that bring themselves peace in their hearts and in their lives, and this is something that can do exactly that. So let's move on. What prettiness do you have?
No mask required outside either,
look at the yellow.
right?
Well,
so these are forsythia branches, and forsythia is the first thing to bloom. Kind of the blooming order of things, particularly in the state of Indiana, is forsythia, then the redbud, then the dogwood. But then you'll see all through the Broad Ripple area here in Indianapolis, you'll see the giant magnolias begin to bloom. And that's what's so fantastic about spring, is the blooming order of things.
Right.
So when we're beginning, these are the new beginnings. One other little tip I want to give everybody too, Amber, is when we're starting, and when these are my great Fiskars pruners. Fiskars is just a wonderful partner of mine. I love to use just a little alcohol and get these kind of disinfected from last year. You know, you don't know what's left. There's probably a little sap, a little, you know, you don't know if there's a little fungus on there. Right. And then a great little tip is you can use Pam spray. People will kill me for saying this because they're not, I'll hide that label. I don't know if that's right? And then just grease them up a little bit, and they are ready to go. They are ready to go.
Can I ask you a question about my own?
Get it. What is it?
My garden areas.
Heck
okay, when it comes to rose bushes, I feel like those are the most tricky things. Right. Do I need to start kind of trimming those
Well,
now?
if they are the knockout roses, which everybody has, okay, I'm coming over for a cup of coffee, and we're going to walk around with our pruners, and we're going to look. If they're the knockout roses, it's a really good time in the spring to just kind of cut them back, maybe about a third off the top. But cut them back to one of the buds. You know, the thing you do when you prune is you always cut back to a bud.
Okay.
Always cut back to a bud.
I just love having you here. Thank you so much. It's so good to catch up. We'll put all her social media on our website, indiestyle.tv.